absolutely crushed. The ball is not in time. He dives, he throws. A swing and a drive to deep right. Goal! The game is over.
The Giants need to find some offense, and they need to find it fast.
The division seems to be slipping away from them.
It's not going to be that easy for the Dodgers.
The Giants aren't going to take us lightly. They're going to come out swinging and come out pitching.
Matt Kemp continues his torrid pace.
These two teams make up one of the best rivalries in all of sports. Battling for the top spot once again.
The Dodgers with a chance to wrap it up.
That's right. Strap on those holsters. The next 3 days could decide how the West was won. Hi there, everyone. Welcome to Quick Pitch presented by Degree. I'm Heidi Watney. Yes, I know the Giants were just swept by the Padres over the weekend, scoring a paltry 4 runs total. But this is their rival, and they aren't going down without a fight. San Francisco basically needs to sweep the 3-game set for even a chance at overtaking the Dodgers for the division title. The Giants trail by 5 in the win column, and they are tied for the wild card lead heading into Monday night. Dodgers hosting the Giants, and there is 20-game winner Clayton Kershaw doing a little work at shortstop before Monday's game, showing some decent range as well, but he is probably not considering a position change anytime soon.
Third inning, 1-0 in favor of San Francisco. It is also the 87th birthday of Tommy Lasorda, and they just brought out a big cake with Tommy's victory pose with his hands high up over his head after one of his World Series victories.
Another 2-2 pitch, and Blanco hits a high fly ball right center field. This one carrying pretty well. Kemp and Puig come together and they don't catch it. The ball clangs off the glove of Kemp. Speeding around second, Blanco heading for third, and he's in there.
Kemp holds up his hand saying, "I've got it," but that's not going to help because Puig was looking at the ball and never saw Matt calling. It should have been Puig instead of Kemp. But again, you remember, Kemp played so much center field, he probably forgot.
And here's the bunt. And scoring is Blanco. Panik is retired. And it's 2-0.
Carl Crawford, left-handed hitter, leads off against Peavy here in the 5th.
Drilled to right. Pence back. Gone. Home run number 8 for Carl Crawford, and it's a 2-1 ball game.
Now the Dodgers have second and third and 1 man out.
And a fly ball. Now that's not very far. Uribe tag. The throw by Dominguez is a high throw. Backed up by Peavy over to third goes Ellis, and the Dodgers have tied it up.
2 down. Carl Crawford with a count of 1 ball and no strikes.
Hunter Pence is coming in, racing in, and he makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. Nice play, Hunter Pence, to keep that one from falling in for a base hit.
So Brian Wilson is struggling here. That's pretty obvious, Scully. You don't have to say that. 2 on, 2 out, 8th inning, and Howell continues to be restless. JP can't stand it. 3-2. High chopper up the middle. Ramirez on the ball, takes dead aim and got him. And JP can finally relax.
So now 2 runners in scoring position. 2-2 the score. 9th inning.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed strike 3. Fastball upstairs.
Full count. We'll keep an eye on the runners here. League is not really a strikeout kind of a pitcher. Here's his stretch.
Runners not going. Shot up the middle by Barrena. Picked up by Puig. Here comes the throw to the plate. Close. It got him. Yasiel Puig throws belt out at the plate. A thing of beauty and a joy forever to be blessed with an arm like that. And the Dodgers dodge another bullet.
Yasiel Puig, boy, is he getting high fives calling into the Dodger dugout at a standing ovation.
During the Giant-Dodger series, the end of July, and probably lines it to left. Crawford has to play it on a bounce. He doesn't have the arm, and the run will score. Line drive down the line. So in comes one more, going to third base. And rounding second on his way to third is Blanco. The Dodgers have a chance to get an out. The run scores while they're running Blanco down. The tag eventually is made, but a disastrous 13th inning for
San Francisco wins it 5-2. The Giants snap their 3-game losing streak and now lead the season series between the teams 9-8. They are now 9-4 in extra innings. The Dodgers fall to 5-2 in extra frames. So let us take a look at the Expedia standings in the NL West. The Giants cut the Dodgers division lead to 3.5 games. LA's magic number remains at 3 for clinching their second straight division title.
We are playing the final game of August.
Bottom of the 9th inning. It's the Cleveland Indians 2, the Kansas City Royals 1.
Deep right center field. It is tied.
And we are going to extra innings.
Swinging a long drive to right. Chisenhall delivers a pinch hit, 2-run double.
Now here comes the rain.
This game has been suspended and will resume in September.
So that is how the first 9.5 innings went back on August 31st. And after quite the hefty rain delay and a change in venue, the Royals and Indians resumed that game in the bottom of the 10th on Monday, with the Indians up 4-2 over the Royals. Now, those 3 outs loom large for Kansas City. If they can't rally for at least 2 runs in those 3 outs, they automatically drop a half game in the tight race for the division and the wild card. And yes, they are finishing off this home game in Cleveland. It is Indians and Royals. To the bottom of the 10th we go. Mike Moustakas on the road Grays, but batting as the home team in the bottom of the 10th. Leading off with a single just over Justin Sellers. So the next batter is Eric Hosmer. He was on the DL when this game was originally played on August 31st, but now he gets to pinch hit. But he strikes out swinging. Pinch runner Terrence Gore steals second with 1 down. After a ground out, Nori Aoki comes up as the last out. He singles through the left side. Gore scores. Royals now trail by 1. Gerard Dyson comes in, pinch runs for Aoki. With Omar Infante hitting, Dyson steals second, so the tying runs in scoring position. But Infante pops it up to short. That is the game. Indians win it 4-3 in 10 innings. The Indians now have 14 extra inning wins. That matches the most in baseball this season. The Royals fall to 5-9 in extra frames. Cleveland's Yan Gomes officially sets a career high with 4 hits. So could Kansas City make up that ground they just lost in their regularly scheduled matchup? The same guy who started that August 31st game started for the Royals Monday night. Danny Duffy, who hadn't pitched since September 6th because of shoulder inflammation.
1-0 Royals. Bases loaded for the Indians.
And nobody out.
Little rough beginning here for Duffy.
Now the most feared hitter in their lineup, Carlos Santana.
Hopped him up. Boy, how many times have we seen that in the last 10 days?
Well, he gets aggressive when you get runners in scoring position early. He has that long swing trying to hit the home run.
Yan Gomes is the hitter. Another 0-2 pitch to Gomes.
Curveball in there, strike 3 call. Now the former Royal Mike Aviles.
Next pitch. Breaking ball is lifted to right. Pretty well struck, but Aoki moving back to make the play, and that's the inning.
What a job by Danny Duffy.
Fonte at third, 1 away. The infield halfway. 1-2 on Escobar.
Oh, yeah. And it skips by Ramirez. Infante will score the Royals' second run.
He had time to get himself in front of it and knock the ball down, keep it in front because Infante was not coming home on contact.
2 down in the inning, and that'll bring up Lorenzo Cain.
Right now, Carlos Carrasco needs a little help. Runner goes, swinging a line drive toward right field, and Holt with a dive, hangs on for the out. Lonnie Chisenhall with a 2-ball, 2-strike count, 2 down, runner at first. Here in the 6th.
Struck him out. Danny Duffy with a shout to the heavens. 6 shutout innings.
Another dynamite effort by Carlos Carrasco. 7 1/3. He allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. He struck out 9 and he walked 1.
Now it'll be Wade Davis, and he has to face the heart of the lineup. That means Michael Brantley, Carlos Santana, and Yan Gomes.
The 3-1 pitch to Brantley from Davis.
Upstairs and in, and it's ball 4, and the tying run to the plate.
Now the 1-1 to Santana. A swing and a fly ball, shallow center. Dyson charges in to grab it. Santana's out number 1. That'll bring up Yan Gomes.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Gomes.
Brantley does go. There's the strike him out. but Brantley does steal second base.
Brantley has his 23rd steal, and here comes Jason Kipnis to bat for Mike Aviles.
Curveball to Escobar. That'll do it, and Wade Davis with a shutout 8th inning.
Well, the Indians are going to be facing one of the best closers in the game, Greg Holland, and David Murphy, the Indians' last hope, 1 for 3 with a single.
And the 1-2 pitch.
On the ground, Infante has it. The Royals win their 85th game of the year.
The Royals record their 14th shutout win of the season. Danny Duffy has posted an ERA just over 1.5 in 5 outings against the Indians this season. Duffy has a losing record this season, but his 2.32 ERA is among the best marks in the American League among pitchers with at least 140 innings of work. He trails only Felix Hernandez and Chris Sale. Tigers hosting the White Sox. Good news for the Tigers. Alex Avila was cleared to return to the lineup in time for Monday's game. He missed 6 games due to a concussion. Top of the first, White Sox with a man on and 1 out. Jose Abreu drives it deep to right center field. Torrey Hunter is there with a leaping catch to rob Abreu of a hit. Take another look. Torrey reaching all out to pull that one in. And Abreu gives him a salute in the dugout. Torrey says, my bad. I got you. Sorry. Top of the second, a scoreless game. Tyler Flowers, 2-run homer to left center field. That's his 15th of the year. And it gives the White Sox a 2-0 lead. Rough start to the game for Kyle Lobstein. Bottom third, still 2-0. 1 on. Cabrera drives it deep to right, but Avisel Garcia makes the sliding catch to rob him of a hit. Check that out again. Nice play by Garcia to get the Sox out of the inning. Still up 2-0. Bottom 6, same score. Runner on second, 2 down. Chris Bassett on for the Sox. Avila at the dish, and he strikes out swinging. Sox still up 2-0. Bottom of the 8th. Bassett still in the game. Miggy at the dish. Lines it to left, but Moises Sierra catches it. Bassett 7 2/3 scoreless innings, scatters 6 hits with 3 strikeouts. Bottom 9, same score. Jake Petrichka trying to shut the door. Get Tyler Collins to fly out to left center field, and that's the ballgame. Tigers lose it 2-0. Detroit loses for just the 7th time in their last 21 home games. The White Sox shut out the Tigers for the first time since 2011. Chris Bassett notches his first major league win. Now, if the Tigers win the AL Central, they can thank their excellent record against postseason contenders KC and Cleveland. However, if the Royals manage to steal the division, Detroit can blame his struggles against the bottom 2 teams in the Central. Let's take a look at those Expedia standings in the AL Central. The Tigers' magic number for clinching a 4th straight division title stands at 6, with 6 games to play. The Royals are just 1 back, picking up a half game after their split results in Cleveland. Who kept their cool is presented by Degree. Find out if Mark Melancon kept his cool in Atlanta when he faced B.J. Upton with 2 outs and the tying run on first base in the top of the 9th inning as the Pirates tried to win their 3rd straight 1-0 game. When the A's are going well, it seems like they're having fun and walking off every night. Well, we haven't seen that for a while, but we did on Sunday. So will Josh Donaldson's homer start a playoff run? And the Braves have been one of the most stable franchises in the game, which makes what happened on Monday stand out. A disappointing season leads to changes in Atlanta. Plus, Derek Jeter was slumping through his final month in the majors, but down to 1 week, he is now hitting like a 25-year-old. So what did he do on Monday to dazzle fans in the Bronx again? Quick Pitch is just getting started.
Now Donaldson a chance to win it.
Left center field. Down the line. Center field. Has he done it? The A's have won it.
Over and out for Josh Donaldson, and the tunnel awaits at home plate.
They're going nuts at the Coliseum.
Josh Donaldson is a man.
It It may have been the worst example of pieing a player in the face, but that didn't put a damper on the celebration. The A's have been looking for a spark, something to snap them out of this funk they've been in offensively. And Sunday's walk-off win, courtesy of a monster homer from Josh Donaldson, could be exactly what Oakland needs. The A's still hold that wild card lead, but only by the slimmest of margins. A's hosting the Angels. Donaldson has been Oakland's main man this season, leading all MLB third basemen in home runs, RBIs, and WAR. Can the A's keep the momentum rolling in the final week of the regular season?
One thing we've talked about a lot with C.J. Wilson, his command can really be erratic.
C.J. Wilson leads the AL in walks.
But here we go, the A's with a shot with the bases loaded.
And he misses badly, and he walks in a row. 3 consecutive walks. Full trots in to score, and the A's have tied it. Well, the Angels always say there's good CJ and there's bad CJ, and we're never quite sure who we're going to get. Well, they're getting the bad one right now in the first inning. And he walked in another run. 2-1, the A's take the lead as Donaldson trots home. 4 walks in the inning by Wilson.
And here's Giovanni Soto with the bases loaded. The 3-2 is swung on, hit to center for a base hit. Gomes will score. Around third is Norris. He's going to score. Fryman goes from first to third. Giovanni Soto with the big hit of this bottom of the first inning. And the A's have a 4-1 lead against C.J. Wilson and the Angels. And that's the last pitch he's going to throw on this Monday night.
So C.J. Wilson only gets 2 outs in the game, and he throws 35 pitches, and he is gone in the first inning. So here's Mike Morin, who comes in the very first inning, and he'll face Nick Punto first and third. Runner goes, and the ball's hit toward third. Freeze has it. Throws low and throws it down the right field line. Fryman scores. Here comes Soto. He's going to score. Punto to third. 6-1.
Get it out of your system. This is an ugly one going on right now.
Jeff Samardzija still standing for the Athletics and a 6-1 lead. The last earned run he surrendered was a Chris Carter home run back on the 5th of the month. 1-0 pitch, swung on, bounce to third again. In between hopping off the glove of Donaldson, bare hands, and throws to first, and still gets Iannetta. How about that for Josh Donaldson? Moving to his left, the ball off his glove, up in the air, snags it and fires it, and the inning is over.
So 2 on, 2 out for Pujols.
There's the 1-2. Albert drives one out to deep left center field. That is gone. A big fly for Albert Pujols.
28th home run of the season for Pujols, now giving him 104 RBI on the season.
Luke Gregerson comes out of the A's bullpen. 5-4 at 2.09 ERA.
Beckham toward Lowry. Out at second. On to first. Double play. And that's the ball game.
Our final score on this Monday night. The A's 8 and the Angels 4.
Jeff Samardzija has not allowed an earned run in 22 consecutive innings, the longest such streak of his career. C.J. Wilson has an ERA just under 6 in the first inning this season. Mariners still chasing that second wild card spot, taking on the Blue Jays. Rookie James Paxton has had a great start to his major league career. In 15 starts, he's 9-3 with a 1.91 ERA.
Paxton so far at the start of the game, 14 pitches, just 6 strikes for him.
3-0 to Navarro. Walking, bases loaded. Lloyd McClendon coming out to the mound here with the bases loaded, 1 out.
Paxton looks like he has good stuff. He's having a tough time commanding his fastball right now. 15 pitches, only 6 strikes.
And the batter is third baseman Danny Valencia. And the 2-1 pitch, swinging a line drive into the gap in left center field. That's going to score a couple. Here comes Bautista. Here comes Encarnacion. Around to third. Navarro, he's going to be waved in. The throw in is off the glove of Taylor. Now a throw to third. And Zay out at third base. And now it looks like they're going to have a replay at third base.
Ackley's got to go get it. The relay comes in. They bobble it momentarily. Tries to recover and get the runner out at third base. He's called out. And the right away they said, we got to take a look at this one.
And he is safe at third base, so the call is overturned. How about that?
Jackson led off the game with a base hit. Happ a look back at Taylor. The pitch to Jackson, swinging a fly ball into right center field. On the run, Bautista dives and he makes the catch. Holy smokes, what a catch by Jose Bautista.
2 outs. Kevin Pillar, the left fielder. The young left-hander laboring big time.
Oh,
it's his 5th walk. Bases loaded. Top of the order, and Reyes.
The 0-1. Swing, hard hit. One skipper. It gets underneath Seager's glove. Taylor's there behind him to back him up. Taylor has no throw. Valencia scores from third, and it's 5-1 Blue Jays.
Bases are loaded. Pitch to Bautista. Taken for ball 4. He picks up an RBI at 6-1. And that is walk number 6.
And that is going to be it for James Paxton.
Now we're ready to pitch to Encarnacion. The pitch is inbound, and it's to the backstop. It ricochets back to the catcher. They throw to the plate, head first slide, and coming in to score is Pilar to make it 7-1. There's the line drive off the glove of the third baseman Seager, off the glove of the shortstop Taylor. Reyes scores. Bautista scores. And the Blue Jays go out in front 9-1.
Here's Dustin Ackley. Ackley 0 for 2. The pitch. Swing and a fly ball into deep left center field. On the run, Pilar and Pompey. Pompey dives, and he makes the catch. Holy smokes, what a flying diving catch by Dalton Pompey. Leading off the bottom of the 5th, Jose Bautista.
There is a blast. Deep left center field. Forget it. Home run number 35 for Jose Bautista, and it makes it 11-1 Blue Jays.
Jays win it, and Jose Bautista has 11 home runs and 26 RBIs during his 26-game on-base streak. The Mariners have lost 10 of their last 15 games overall. Mariner postseason hopes are fading in a September swoon. After pitching to the American League's best starter ERA through August 31st, the Seattle rotation has fallen off this month. Only the Twins and Red Sox have a higher rotation ERA. In the Expedia AL wildcard standings, the Mariners find themselves 2 games out of a spot, while the Indians are 3.5 back. If the A's and Royals finish in a tie, the wildcard game would be played in KC, as the Royals went 5-2 against Oakland this season. So here are your matchups for Tuesday. Yordano Ventura owns a 2.33 ERA over his last 9 starts. King Felix leads the AL with a 2.07 ERA. In Oakland, it's Sonny Gray against Wade LeBlanc. Gray has struggled in the first inning all year, giving up 4 runs in the first to the Rangers in his last start. Exactly 1 year ago, the Pirates were clinching a playoff berth. Would they celebrate that happy day by getting one step closer to the 2014 dance?
The Atlanta Braves, who are a complete mess.
I'm sick and tired of talking about the Braves offense.
They have not scored any runs whatsoever.
They're in trouble, period, offensively. But at the end of the day, they have to start producing at this level.
You wonder why this ball club on a day-in, day-out basis just doesn't seem to put anything together. They strike out too much, we all know that, but they're feast or famine to a point where it makes you sick.
Offensively, this club has to start hitting, period.
One day after being eliminated from postseason contention, the Atlanta Braves parted ways with GM Frank Wren and assistant GM Bruce Mano. Taking over as interim GM is Braves special advisor and MLB Network analyst John Hart, a former GM and longtime baseball executive. Team president John Shearhold said he recognized the need for a change in the culture of the organization a while ago.
It was time, we thought, having been eliminated from any postseason possibility, rather than continue to wait, that it would give us an opportunity to form our committee and start this transition a week sooner than perhaps, and we thought it was the right day. What we will do as our transition team is to take our time and evaluate this organization from top to bottom.
My recommendation to John is that we go out and examine the baseball universe for the next John Sherholtz. And I want to be a part of that. I'm excited to be a part of that.
And during Frank Wren's tenure, the Braves had baseball's 9th best winning percentage with 3 postseason appearances, but they never advanced as far as the LCS. Under Wren, the Braves locked up top young talent to long-term extensions, but his veteran signings may have cost him his job. The Braves hosting the Pirates in Atlanta. Freddie Gonzalez hoping to salvage what's left of this season, while Clint Hurdle's club is hoping for another year of postseason baseball.
Francisco Liriano has had a tremendous second half. I think he's in this rocking chair right now. He's just throwing darts. Unbelievable rhythm. Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire. Barking Mike Estabrook.
Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The 2-2. And that's right there. Liriano strikes out the side.
No score. Braves trying to spoil the Pittsburgh Pirates party tonight.
Once again, Aaron Harang doing it to the Pirates here. He's in the driver's seat, it would appear. Wow. He said he did, and Jordy Mercer said, what? 7 strikeouts for Aaron Harang.
4-pitch walk to Gosselin, so 1 on and 1 out.
Runner goes again, pitches a strike. Throw down is going to be a strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Watch Super Russ make this throw. The impact that just one guy, Russell Martin, had on us controlling the running game. It was such a glaring weak spot 2 years ago.
Andrew McCutchen starts the Pirates half of the 6th inning of a scoreless game, 3 hits apiece.
In a big 6th inning for the Pirates. And there's a high drive to left field, clear the deck, cannonball coming. Andrew McCutchen gives the Buccos the lead with home run number 24.
That one was a bomb, and you could hear him. He is fired up.
2 outs, base is empty. The 0-2 pitch. Little chopper past the mound. Shortstop Jordy Mercer grabs it, fires on the first to get it. 3 ground balls and 3 outs.
Pirate starting pitchers run their consecutive scoreless inning streak. 23 now. Liriano's 6 scoreless tonight. 1-0. Can it be 3 straight 1-0 games?
Sure it can.
Involving the Pirates for the first time since 1917. Line drive, a little skip to Mercer. And on to first, 1 away.
And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Ball gets away from Russ. He picks it up, throws down to first for the out. 2 gone.
Pirates are 1 out away from reducing their magic number to clinch a playoff spot to 2.
Little tapper. Melanson has it pop out of his glove, and the Braves are still alive.
DJ Upton at the plate. Manson looks for his 32nd save. Swing and a miss. Raise the Jolly Roger. If he throws to first, he does. Raise it in Atlanta. Andrew McCutchen's home run, the difference. They're within 2 games now of going back to the postseason.
Francisco Liriano improves to 4-0 with a 0.69 ERA over his last 6 starts. The Braves are shut out for the 8th time in their last 27 games. The Bucs are now 14-6 in September, including a Major League best 14-3 since September 5th. Their pitching staff has baseball's best ERA and opponents average this month, thanks to a starting staff that has produced 23 straight scoreless innings. That is their longest streak since 1997. Cardinals taking on the Cubs at Wrigley. Adam Wainwright has been putting opponents' bats to sleep all season long. A little afternoon nap on the grass doesn't hurt anyone. He is looking to become a 20-game winner for the 2nd time in his career, and he had it going early on. Here's Ryan Kalish down looking. Wainwright was cruising. On to the 4th of a scoreless game. The Cardinals' bats finally wake up. Johnny Peralta lines it into left field. Chris Coughlin dives, can't make the play. Randall Grichuk scores. Peralta all smiles as he drives in the first run of the game. Next batter is Yadier Molina, singles through the right side. Matt Holliday's coming on home, and the Cardinals are up 2-0. 2 batters later, John Jay drops it into left center field. Peralta scores. Molina's behind him. The Cardinals scored 4 runs in the 4th inning to take a 4-0 lead. On to the 5th, same score. Holliday's batting with 1 on. Loops a single into right field. Matt Carpenter comes home. It's 5-0 St. Louis piling on in Chicago. Later in the inning, Matt Adams gets into the hit parade. Holliday and Peralta both score. It's 7-0 Cardinals. More than enough run support for Wainwright. In the 5th, that was Arizmendi Alcantara, swing and a miss. Baez down swinging again. Jorge Soler can't make contact. Wainwright 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, no runs. Vintage Wainwright. Bottom of the 8th, the Cardinals flashing the leather. Peralta snags the grounder, flips it to Pete Kozma, starts the 6-4-3 double play. Cardinals go on to win it 8-0. The Cards record their 22nd shutout of the season. That's their most in a season since the mound was lowered back in 1969. Wainwright leads baseball this season with 12 starts of at least 7 shutout innings. No other pitcher has more than 6 such starts. Wainwright joins Hall of Famer Bob Gibson and Joaquin Andujar as the only Cardinals with multiple 20-win seasons since 1950. Wainwright, Clayton Kershaw, and Bartolo Colon are the only active pitchers with 2 20-win seasons. Let's take a look at the Expedia standings in the NL Central. The division title is still in doubt as the Bucks keep pace with the first-place Cardinals. The Pirates' magic number to clinch a second straight wild-card berth is down to just 2. In the Expedia National League standings, the Nationals currently lead the Dodgers in the race for home park advantage through the NLCS. A tie between the teams would result in home field for Washington due to their 4-2 record against LA this season. Some more matchups for Tuesday. Shelby Miller takes on the Cubs and Kyle Hendricks. Miller has given up just 2 earned runs over 26 innings in September. Out west, it's Madison Bumgarner and Zach Greinke. Bumgarner looking for his 19th win this season, while Greinke seems to have put his elbow issues behind him. And Derek Jeter has been showered with gifts all season long, but in his final week, does he have one last gift for his fans? More Quick Pitch after the break. Welcome back to Quick Pitch, presented by Degree. We've seen the commercials, the full-page ads in the paper, the gifts from every team on Derek Jeter's farewell tour. And some may think it's overkill to celebrate one player this much. But some would argue that it's not enough. If you've seen the captain, I mean really watched him through his career, you will have seen the definition of a player with grit, determination, success, and most importantly, class. For all the numbers one can use to quantify Jeter's career, one stands out: 0, as in the number of times Derek Jeter has been ejected in his 2,741 games played. Jeter has just 4 more games at Yankee Stadium, starting with Monday night against the Orioles. Top of the first, Alejandro De Aza is up. Ground ball to second, Stephen Drew with a diving stop, throws to first for the out. Nice play by Drew. Bottom of the third, no score. Jose Pirela making his major league debut. Base hit deep to left center field. Ichiro's going to score. Pirela into third with a triple. It's 1-0 Yankees, his first major league hit. So, of course, they're going to keep the ball. Also an RBI, and it's a triple. Not bad. Bottom of the fifth, now 2-0 Yankees. Jeter is up with 2 on and 2 outs. Jeter doubles down the left field line. 2 runs come in. Jeter with 3 RBIs on the night. It is 4-0 Yankees. Michael Pineda was dominant Monday. Top of the 6th, Caleb Joseph strikes out swinging. Next batter, Jonathan Scope. He can't make contact either. In the 7th, the big hitter Nelson Cruz with a whiff. Pineda 7 1/3 innings, 8 strikeouts, just 1 hit, no runs. Bottom of the 8th, Chase Headley, solo homer to center field, his 12th of the season. 5-0 Yankees. They win by that score. The Yankees have won 13 of their last 18 home games. Pineda has pitched to a sub-2 ERA over his first 12 starts as a Yankee. The start of his final month was brutal for the captain as he endured a streak of 28 hitless at-bats, but over his last 6 games, Jeter has hit .417 with 6 RBIs. Monday was Jeter's first 3 RBI game since September of 2012. Looking at the Expedia American League standings, the Orioles can't put any pressure on the Angels in the race for home park advantage through the World Series. Detroit's loss assures Baltimore of home field advantage in the ALDS. Astros and Rangers, bottom of the 3rd, no score. Gilder Rodriguez is at the plate. Now, he had a minor league career of 1,095 games, and he is hitless in the majors since his September 7th call-up until that hit right there. Rodriguez gets a standing ovation from the crowd, and his wife and his father, Guillermo, who flew in from Venezuela, were there to witness this. Very exciting. Top of the 6th, Astros are down 3-1. Jose Altuve's at the plate. Shoots it to left center field. 1 run comes in. Hit number 221 for Altuve. Astros trail 3-2. Bottom 7th, score now tied at 3. 2 on for Rodriguez. Lines it to short, but it's in and out of Jonathan Villar's glove. Rangers take a 4-3 lead on Rodriguez's first major league RBI. What a night. Bottom 8th, Jose Altuve foul tip to fastball. It hits Robinson Chirinos. He would be okay. take a look at Altuve's swing. That was like way above his head. He had to leave his feet for that one. Top of the 9th, VR lines out to left field. Rodriguez gets his first Major League Gatorade bath as the Rangers win it 4-3. That is something to smile about. The Rangers win for the 9th time in their last 10 games. They are 10-6 since Tim Bogart took over managerial duties. Derek Holland improves to 2-0 with a 1.31 ERA over his first 5 starts this season. Some more Tuesday matchups. Ubaldo Jimenez gets a spot start as the Orioles are giving each of their postseason starters an extra day of rest heading into October. Brandon McCarthy has continued his success since joining the Yankees with 7 innings of 2-run ball in his last start. Some great action on Monday with playoff races all around. But how did it affect who's playing who in October? We're going to take a look next. It is a battle in LA, Giants and Dodgers. We pick it up in the top of the 11th, tied at 2. Brandon Crawford singles up the middle. Brandon Belt's coming around to score. Yasiel Puig throw home is right on the money. Belt is out at the plate. Take another look at the strong throw by Puig. He's got a cannon, and Belt is out. So on to the 13th we go, still tied at 2. 2 on, 2 down. Andrew Susac loops it into left field. Belt scores. Giants go on to win this one 5-2. Pirates making a push for the postseason against the Braves. Francisco Liriano on the mound for the Buccos. Emilio Bonifacio checks his swing but strikes out anyway. Justin Upton caught looking. Liriano's 6 shutout innings. Top of the 6th, still no score. Andrew McCutcheon's at the plate. Takes Aaron Harang deep to left and out of here. Solo shot, his 24th of the season. Pirates take a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the 9th, same score. B.J. Upton strikes out on a ball in the dirt. Russell Martin throws first for the final out. Pirates win 1-0. Magic number to clinch a spot in the playoffs is 2. Off to Wrigley for Cardinals and Cubs. Top of the 5th, already 4-0 Cardinals. Matt Holliday batting with 1 on. Loops a single into right field. Matt Carpenter scores. It is 5-0 Cardinals. More than enough run support for Adam Wainwright, who was dealing. 7 innings, just 3 hits, no runs, 8 strikeouts. Wainwright picks up his 20th win as the Cardinals win 8-0. So here is a look at the NL postseason matchups if the season ended on Monday. The Bucks and Giants would be the wild card teams, and the Nationals would host the winner in the NLDS. The other matchup would have the Cardinals traveling west to face the Dodgers. Indians and Royals. Now the Indians won the end of the first game that they played this afternoon. KC and Cleveland playing game 2, top of the 5th. Royals up 1-0. Omar Infante on third. Alcides Escobar grounds to short. Jose Ramirez can't handle it, so Infante scores. It was 2-0 Royals, and Danny Duffy, making his first start since September 6th, was dealing. Gets Yan Gomes looking. Lonnie Chisenhall swinging. Duffy 6 shutout innings. Royals win 2-0. Off to Detroit for White Sox and Tigers. Top of the 2nd, Kyle Lobstein on the mound. We are scoreless. 1 on when Tyler Flowers does this. 2-run shot to left center field, his 15th homer of the year. Tigers are up 2-0. On to the bottom of the 9th, same score. Jake Petrichka gets Tyler Collins to fly out to left center field. That ends the game. Tigers lose 2-0. Angels and A's in Oakland. C.J. Wilson struggled on Monday. Top of the 1st, it's 1-0 Halos. Wilson walks Derek Norris with the bases loaded. Sam Folds scores. That game tied at 1. 2 batters later, Wilson walks Nate Fryman, so Josh Donaldson trots on home. It's 2-1 A's. Wilson went just 2/3 of an inning, 4 earned runs, 4 walks. In the 7th, Jeff Samardzija still going strong. Chris Iannetta ground ball to third. Josh Donaldson with a concentration for the play there. A's win it 8-4. Now, if the season were to end on Monday, the AL postseason matchups would look like this. The A's and Royals would square off in the wild card game, with the winner earning a trip to Anaheim. The Tigers would travel to Baltimore to face the Orioles. So many great plays, so little time. But one of them was the greatest of them all. Which one? Well, it wasn't one of these. The best of the best is next. Off to San Diego for Rockies and Padres. Bottom of the 1st. A runner at first, 2 outs. Rene Rivera steps to the dish. And he doubles to the wall in right center field. Jed Jerko's going to score, and the Padres are up 1-0. In the second, Reimer Liriano hits it to right field. Michael Kadire chasing, and he makes the catch in foul territory. Nice catch by Kadire. Top of the 8th, still 1-0 Padres. Justin Morneau's at the plate. He's in the race for the batting title, and here he hits it to the wall in left field. It's a leadoff double for Morneau. He finishes 2 for 4, now leads the NL in batting. Later in the inning, though, Michael McKendry pops out to center, so Dale Thayer strands the tying run at second. Padres win at 1-0. The Padres record their 10th shutout victory of the season. San Diego has won 7 of their last 8, including a season-high matching 5 straight. Here now, your Capital One Premier plays.
Here's the 1-2. Line.
Diving stop by Drew. In the hole. Goes to first. In time. What a play.
A line drive into right. Bautista over. Makes a terrific play.
Wow. Just plain beautiful.
1-0 pitch. Swung on, bounced to third again. In between Hoppin. Off the glove of Donaldson. Bare hands and throws to first. And still gets Iannetta.
Picked up by Puig. Here comes the throw to the plate. Close. It got him. A thing of beauty and a joy forever to be blessed with an arm like that. Wow.
Those were pretty good, but here's Monday's best. Blue Jays rookie Dalton Pompey with a diving catch deep in center field. That is your Capital One Premier play. Diamondbacks making their first ever trip to Target Field on Monday. Top of the 5th, it's 1-0 Twins. Didi Gregorius is batting with 2 on. He pulls it down the right field line. Jake Lamb comes in to score, and that ties the game at 1. Later in the inning, it's now 3-1 Arizona. Mark Trumbo's batting, and he's going oppo. 2-run homer, Trumbo's 3rd in 2 games. Diamondbacks take a 5-1 lead. Josh Colmenter with some cruise control Monday. Here he gets Trevor Plouffe swinging. Doug Bernier swing and a miss at strike 3, and Danny Santana strikes out as well. Colmenter 6 1/3, 5 Ks. D-backs win it 6-2. One final look at Tuesday matchups. Tanner Roark's last start was a big one for the Nationals as they clinched the NL East that night after Roark pitched 7 scoreless innings against the Braves. It was a breakout season for Matt Shoemaker of the Angels, and it may not be over just yet. Shoemaker, who has been nearly unbeatable in the second half of the season, is working his way back from an oblique strain, and according to Mike Scioscia, he could be ready to go for the postseason. That is going to do it for us. We're going to see you next time.
He has been playing his buttocks off.
Wow, just plain beautiful.
Over. Makes a terrific play. Big time play.
Looks like he got it. He did.
So far, that's the play of the night. How about that? Breaking into the major league.
Hello. How's he getting away with this? There's a three-starter in the Blue Jay lineup that scored a run tonight. He's been swinging the bat, throwing the leather.
Oh, look at there. Brent Fielder coming out, joining the fun. One game closer.
Take another look. It's worth another look.